According to the New York Times, the number of unaccompanied migrant children held at the southern border has now tripled in just the last 2 weeks. And just this weekend, a White House delegation visited a Texas facility housing some of these children as the Biden administration is now facing increasing criticism over this situation.
Yeah, we want to bring in now Frankie Miranda, who's CEO of the Hispanic Federation, president and CEO of the Hispanic Federation. Frankie, thanks so much for being here. What's driving it? These numbers right now.
These numbers are being driven by the chaotic and disorganized and confusing policies of the past administration. The Remain in Mexico policy really created a humanitarian crisis at the border. And the Biden administration is taking responsibility for those unaccompanied minors that were separated from their families, trying to reunite them. And now, with the possibility of many of these minors being able to seek asylum, there is going to take some time to be able to process and make sure that these children are taken care in a humane way and a responsible way in the midst of a pandemic.
Now, Frankie, the Biden administration has made a step forward in terms of undocumented migrants from Venezuela, allowing them protected status for at least 18 months, allowing them to apply to remain here. Is this a step in the right direction? What more needs to be done?
It is a step in the right direction, and it opens the possibility of continuing talking about a immigration reform bill that is so badly needed. The president had made a commitment to create this path to citizenship to those who desperately need it. That is not only good for the migrants in this country that are in this country or those that are coming to our country, but also for the economy and people's safety here. We need to understand that during this pandemic, most of the people that allow us to stay home safe and that were able to provide us with food and deliveries were many of these undocumented individuals that are here, and they really need a path to citizenship right now.
Okay, and I know you're going to say you're hopeful, and folks have been hopeful for a couple of decades for a comprehensive immigration reform bill, and that fight is going on again. It doesn't have a vote yet, but give me your level of hope and optimism. Be real with me here about actually getting it done this time, and if you have a higher level of hope, what gives you that hope?
I have a higher level of hope because of a couple of things. First of all, the past 4 years of the Trump administration and its toxic narrative around communities of color and the migrant community has been devastated for us. There is a level of awareness from our elected officials about that situation, but also the pandemic had pulled the curtain on all of these health, economic, and educational disparities that are existing, that continue to exist in this country. If we are going to recover better after the pandemic, we need to address all of these issues and the issues of 11 million undocumented people that live in this country and that have contributed over and over to the economy and the safety of everybody in this country during this hard time.
Yeah, and Frankie, speaking to these hard times, being in the middle of this pandemic, and of course the disproportionate amount of community of color affected by this pandemic from a health standpoint, we're also seeing lower numbers of those communities being vaccinated. What can we do? How do we get communities of color, the Latinx community, to get in line to get those much needed shots?
I think that right now the Biden administration is starting to take a great step towards meeting communities where the need is in community. The initiative to support community health clinics, the federally qualified health clinics that are the ones that support those people in the most vulnerable community is the right step in the right direction. We need to support community-based organizations that never close their doors, that they were providing services, food assistance, cash assistance, all sorts of services during the pandemic, never close their doors. Those are the best spokespeople and the ambassadors to be able to give the education that they need and also to serve as vaccination sites. We welcome the ideas of big mega sites for vaccinations, but that entails that you need to have the transportation, stand in line, cross the parking lot, be there, and be able to go back to work or to your home after spending hours having with broadband and high-speed internet connection to make an appointment. We need to talk to people in their language and meet them where they need. And again, going back to the toxic narrative around our community for the past 4 years, that's not going to go away in only a couple of months. We need to work with the third sector, the community-based organizations, to make sure that we partner with government and make sure that our community, who continues to be having the lowest vaccination rate at 9%, although we are the 33% of the cases.
Frankie, like you said, these issues are not going away overnight, going to be solved overnight. We certainly hope we can continue a dialogue with you. We really appreciate having you here. President and CEO of the Hispanic Federation, Frankie Miranda, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.